Brilliant. Okay. Welcome everyone to our weekly Zoom here at FitFix Therapy, all about fitness and wellness. Okay. So this week on our Zoom topic, we have a topic on supplements. Okay. So just before we go anywhere, we'll just pop in or kind of revisit some housekeeping. So generally, guys, when you're listening, when you're watching this live with me, I'd prefer if you sort of kept your selves muted until it's time to get involved and ask questions. Right, so supplements, lovely, nice, fun picture there. So Shivam, I'm going to ask you, what do you think might be covered when we think about supplements in general?
Protein. Protein. I know what supplements come to my mind in general. I don't know if it's in the training context, probably not. But
well,
I
let's dive in. Should we just find out what's on your mind and let's see if some of those things kind of like, cross-reference to what I've got.
yeah. Well, I think omega-3 is important in general, with its brain effects, anti-inflammatory effects. B12 is quite important, but more so for the veggies, but it can be for everyone else. Magnesium can be quite useful.
Mm.
And what else?
So the first thing that sort of ticks for you is mainly like vitamins and minerals, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Really important. And actually, do you know what?
I'm a pharmacist here, so obviously I'm
Well,
going to be thinking
exactly. I
from
was
that
going to say,
perspective.
we've just had Guggen pop in. Guggen, you
Yeah.
can, hopefully you're not camera shy. Is he there? Can he hear us?
Hi, hello. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Do we
Sorry,
get
my
you on camera?
my headphones were connected. Sorry.
That's okay. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Had my first workout yesterday, so I'm slightly broken.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, maybe this might be where the supplements might come in handy.
Okay.
So Gagan, just as you sort of came in, Shivam, one of our other members here, he was diving in and talking to me about what he viewed as supplements. And actually he came up with B12, omegas, magnesium, and all of those things I think they're really important and well evidenced supplements, right? But I was tempted to talk about them today, but I thought perhaps maybe we could kind of talk or dive into supplementation from a more of a training perspective, or like a gym bro perspective. I would absolutely love to do a separate because I think it warrants it when we think about omegas and even vitamin D supplement. I feel like they need their own call for those, don't they? Their own presentation. Anyway, so Guggen, any inklings on what we might deem as supplements within what we're going to talk about today, or what I've prepared for you guys?
I mean, the way I see supplements is something that supplements your diet, I guess. So to kind of achieve what you want to achieve in terms of where what your goal is, I guess, right?
Yeah, could be. All right. So let's dive in. Okay. All right. So first thing that I want to talk about here really is I'm going to be talking about supplements from more of a, like I say, gym bro perspective. There you are. We've got a picture.
I don't know how this. I honestly don't know how this works. To be honest, I've got some weird background there, so I don't know.
I love your background. Okay.
All right.
I might get you to just mute for the moment anyway.
We'll do.
So considerations that we might need to think about when we're looking at supplements are the supplement industry, if we like, sales, right? Marketing, sales, that sort of thing. But when we think about, so Shivam's sort of touched on protein, for example, we want to look at things like the integrity of the brand or of the supplement. is there any strong evidence to support the supplement that we might take? And also, is the supplement legal? So, believe it or not, there, especially when it comes to athletes, for example, I think it's quite a high percentage. It's like roughly about 44% of the athlete cases of like drug doping, I don't know, misuse basically within the sport. It's because they've taken supplements that obviously, you know, they're marketed to the general public, and they may have small amounts of things like growth hormone and whatever other illegal things in there. But for the most part, for normal consumers, that's not going to be like a massive deal, because if your general gym bro manages to get a bit of something in the product that's illegal and it helps give them some benefits, why should the manufacturer really care, right? And I think that definitely, again, comes down to integrity. But as individuals, we want to kind of, you know, look at what supplements are going to actually benefit us, and weigh up the costs really, and look at the considerations. You know, we also nutritionally, from that perspective as well, we want to make sure that these supplements aren't causing us things like, you know, fatigue or like what else, gut issues, digestive issues, and yeah, anything that just doesn't really sit well with us. Okay,
I think a lot of these supplements are just crap.
yeah. That's basically what today is.
Because I mean, most of them, I mean, a lot of, especially the synthetic ones, are just there isn't anything to it. They take the good name of a compound that might have shown some benefit in some shape or form, and they just have a synthetic version which probably doesn't even do the same thing, and there's all sorts of other crap in there.
Yeah.
And that's the cheap stuff. I mean, one example being the cheap vitamin C that you get. Now that is doesn't mean it's rubbish. Normally, you want the natural stuff, and that's the thing that's actually good for you.
Exactly. Where we can get
I've researched this supplements a lot over the last couple of years.
Oh, you should be doing the talk here, not me. I was thinking, oh my goodness, okay, what questions are we going to get asked here? One of the ladies in her check-in form actually asked, is it worth taking pre-workouts? And I just thought, oh, okay, pre-workouts, why don't we kind of run with this here and like make this about, you know, gym bro supplements? So one of the biggest things that's marketed from a gym perspective or training perspective are the pre-workouts. So in my opinion, pre-workout is a waste of money. It's a gimmick. I've been down that hole. The first time I'd ever had pre-workout, it was one of my friends. We were getting ready to go and train, and he said, oh, I'm about to have this Cherry Bomb pre-workout. Would you like any? I was like, well, I've never had it before. And he said, well, 1 or 2 scoops. And of course, without knowing, in complete ignorance, I said, yeah, I'll have two scoops. And what I didn't realize at the time, well, the experience that happened to me, my heart rate went up. I started sweating lots. I started getting like almost like a pins and needles prickly feeling. And it was only afterwards I realized that's actually a compound called beta-alanine. And that's, I guess, what it's a bit of the trickery, because it kind of makes people feel very, you know, pumped, because to kind of disperse that feeling, you have to get lifting hard and pushing, you know. So it was just a very strange thing. But so, you know, again, pre-workouts, yeah, they're a waste of money. And if you're feeling a bit low, I think the best thing that you could go for is probably, the next best thing is caffeine. So caffeine is great, but then Guggen's looking at me here. He's the caffeine expert. If you don't know about coffee, he's the guy. Best coffee like I've ever had. I don't get paid to say that. Honestly, from the beginning, it's been brilliant. But caffeine, we have to think about things like dependency and you know, would we really say addiction? Maybe more addiction to the habit of
100%.
caffeine.
Most of the country is addicted to caffeine.
We
Most of
are,
the world
aren't
is
we?
addicted to caffeine. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's probably the one. It's a drug that the world has made socially acceptable to be addicted to.
Agreed, definitely. And I've got to a stage now personally where I've stopped at 1 coffee a day now, and that is it, because I experienced probably about 10 days ago, and it, you know, look, it's not the first time it's happened. It's happened to me in the past, and you know, you have to almost wean yourself off the coffee, or off the caffeine, to kind of like reset yourself, because you become very, you know, like desensitized to the effects of caffeine over time as you start taking more and more in. I don't drink any energy drinks or anything like that, but I think caffeine has some minute benefits, but more than anything, it's the fact that we just love the taste of coffee. Right, Guggen? How many do you have a day?
Yeah, no, it's a good way to try and make a little bit of money, to be honest, from my point of view. But yeah, it is the biggest drug in the world, a legal drug. It's not bad for you, and you know, it's not, otherwise we wouldn't be having it, kind of thing. It's you know, it's too much of it. It's not good for you either. But yeah, it's not a bad thing to have. How many do I have a day? I have like 1 coffee a day, maybe 2 sometimes. I'd occasionally mix it with alcohol in the evenings, of course. So, but yeah.
Love it. Red Bull, and is that a Jaeger bomb?
Espresso martini.
Oh, right.
Okay,
There it is. That
cool.
one there. That one there. You see it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's an espresso martini. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I guess that the risks with caffeine, though, again, it's like, you know, it's the whole thing of, you know, it's not going to help with a nation that struggles with sleep. So I don't know if any of you listen to Stephen Bartlett's podcast or anything. I think he's got someone coming on this week to talk about sleep. And I think we're becoming more and more curious about sleep as well. And just, you know, our dependency on coffee as well is just, it's not good. So I guess moving on,
there's a lot of issues around sleep. People aren't sleeping enough in this country. I don't know, probably in the world. I can only speak for this country, but
we have to coach ourselves into good habits, right?
That's it. We don't
Create
know how, and we don't know the kind of the biological mechanisms involved in needing to sleep. People think melatonin, it helps you sleep, but no, people don't really understand what melatonin actually does. Things like that. The only half the story, it's like typical media thing. Half the story has been sold and it kind of gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Versity, and, you know, big headlines they sell, don't they? That's it. Moving on to BCAAs. Do we know what those are?
I've heard about it. In fact, I've heard about it recently. It's branch chain amino acids. Apparently, they're supposed to stimulate muscle synthesis.
So this is the
I actually heard about it on a kind of a functional medicine podcast. One of the doctors that was presenting it briefly mentioned it.
They are very important, and I think when it comes to the whole thing of muscle protein synthesis, gosh, me and my synthesis, we actually want it to go low in order to then have, you know, an influx of the protein to then get our MPS, muscle protein synthesis, up. So that's a process called mTOR. I like literally have to put my head in the books to read it again.
It's an anti-aging protein.
Sorry?
mTOR is related to anti-aging.
Wow. See, that's cool, isn't it, as well?
I think if your mTOR levels are low, that's kind of an anti-aging sign. But if your mTOR levels are high, it's meant to be kind of pro-aging, pro all the bad stuff.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I think, but yeah, again, with the whole protein thing, that's the sort of where I've sort of learned about it through. It's the whole idea that that process needs to go down to then lift the curve. And, you know, the whole idea of having the BCAs, if you've got this little dribble or trickle of protein just sitting in the bloodstream, well, you're never really going to trigger mTOR. It needs to come down to go up. So BCAs, to be fair, they're only really important or really, really necessary within the protein that you're having. So you're better off having, like, for example, if you're having a protein shake, especially like a vegan one, having the BCAs in the protein shake is going to be more beneficial than sipping on it, because a few years back, that's what the industry was, sort of supplement industry was selling us. You know, going to the gym, just sip on BCAs all day. You know, you've got this nice dribble of protein in your bloodstream, and it's, you know, but that's not going to give you the effects that we're looking for when it comes to muscle growth. So BCAs, chuck them out. You're better off, again, Shivam, as you always sort of promote anyway, getting what you need from food first. And if you do need supplements, then we do opt for protein shakes. Have the BCAs that are within the protein shake. Yeah. And then it comes on to protein.
From what I've heard, for vegetarians, it's virtually impossible to get BCAs or enough of them from diet.
That's right. Leucine specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's usually quite low. So you can supplement with leucine exclusively. And I think with leucine, it's probably a good idea to have that again with your meals. So with your other protein sources that you're having. I think
if it's, I think, was it 4 grams a day? I think if it's around that level, then that's good.
About 3 grams, I understand.
Yeah, I think it must have been 3.
I think so, yeah.
Because I remember hearing it was somewhere around there. I couldn't remember the exact number.
Yeah. So yeah, but again, you know, with protein, we want to get it from our food first, right? And then probably the most researched of all the supplements out there is going to be our creatine. So do we know much about creatine? Okay, so with creatine, it's probably the most researched supplement out there. So if you are going to take anything like that, then, you know, to help you with muscle growth and that sort of thing, creatine is probably the best one to go for. So I probably am going to look down here and read up my notes, because again, I don't know absolutely everything about this stuff, but it becomes this huge, big hole, right? As soon as you sort of go to a rabbit hole, you go down one road, that could just go on for absolutely ever. Creatine, as I know, it's something that we naturally produce. It's found in food, but mostly in animal food and animal tissue. So as vegans and vegetarians, if we supplement with creatine, we actually get more profound results than, say, a meat eater might, because ours are naturally, it's something about like a 2-to-1 ratio, that you find one part in the food and our body actually naturally produces the other part, and that's what we're trying to bring together. But again, with the so the benefits of creatine, we're probably looking at it helping improve our exercise output or intensity. So it's going to help improve and increase our training quality and our overall strength. It's actually going to help us with recovery as well. So that might be something, again, Shivam, you're quite interested in researching things. So it could be another one that you know you get to go and have a look into. So if we talk about dosing for creatine, we want to look at about a loading phase of about 5 to 7 days of 20 grams in total. So that's 4 doses. So you would probably have like a lunchtime, breakfast, lunchtime, and afternoon and an evening, just to start with. And then after that, you can just take 5 grams a day. And that's just as a maintenance dose. But some other things that I'm just sort of reading up here. So we did talk about vegetarians that increase lean tissue and performance. So there's a study that they'd seen vegetarians had a significantly increased their lean tissue and total work performance. Sleep deprivation. So we were talking about sleep a moment ago. The another study here talked about the creatine group had significantly less decline in performance after sleep deprivation. So I wonder what is going on there. I guess there's sort of decreased. So there's also something here about Alzheimer's as well. So decreased creatine in the brain can sort of trigger the sort of neurodegenerative diseases. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, that's about it. That's my snippet on creatine.
I'll have to look up this.
I think so. It is quite interesting.
In particular, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I could say more. But again, it's the stuff that I've learned, and it's great for me. I absolutely love doing these Zooms because I've got to go back and read my hideous notes as well. But yeah, I guess some of the side effects that you could get from having creatine. Water retention, actually. So it helps draw water into the muscles.
Okay.
So again, are you going to find that if you do start supplementing, are you going to have an increase in your weight? So again, when it comes to things like weight gain or weight loss, whatever our goals are, it's always interesting to kind of consider all the other things that we're doing other than just things like energy expenditure and intake.
See,
that's about it from me.
What a lot of people don't think about is if you're hydrated enough at baseline before you start, because if you're semi-dehydrated, because you could be drinking a lot of water and your cells just not taking it in, it could be going in one end out the next.
Yeah.
So if the workouts and the change in routine and supplements and all of that is allowing your body to better process that water, the cells are going to be heavier and your body's going to be heavier in general. It's just a kind of how I'm interpreting it. Might not be true, but
no, I definitely understand what you're saying there. I guess again, things like inflammation and stuff as well. They're gonna have. Are they going to draw? Is that going to draw a need for more water?
Well, inflammation is going to mean your body's probably losing more water because there'll be dysfunction in the cells.
Rabbit hole again. I could be going into territory I don't know about there with inflammation. Right, let's see where else we are. Okay, here we go. We are at the end of our session today, guys. Any other questions or anything we want to kind of like ask or touch on?
Not from my side, to be honest. No, just happy listening in.
Brilliant. All good. You look like you're doing some admin there at the same time.
Who, me?
Yeah. I'm
taking notes, yeah.
Nice. Good. Like it. Very good.
I've written down here pre-workouts bullshit. Caffeine's okay.
Brilliant.
Creatine helps recovery and training output. And something about Alzheimer's, and then I just
and then you just dropped off. That's good. Brilliant. All right.
I think the Alzheimer's bit is probably not that relevant for the average person.
No, but I mean, it was written down there. I just thought,
it's a good piece of information to know.
Yeah, there you go. It was a bit of information that kind of sparked something in your mind, Shivam. You thought, oh, I've got to do some more reading on this.
Yeah, that's because I this is my kind of profession. So I kind of am more interested in this side.
Yeah,
What do you
definitely.
do? Sorry, Shivam?
I'm pharmacist.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, that's interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys
So
are
am
at the
I.
opposite end of the
You're a
spectrum
pharmacist
here,
as well?
aren't you?
No, I'm not a pharmacist, but I do sell drugs, but it's coffee and alcohol, so it's the same thing, right? Sorry, bad joke. No, I've got a coffee shop and I'll just sell coffee and a bit of
Awesome.
avocado and toast, just the usual, stuff.
Is your coffee mycotoxin free?
Is it what? Microtoxic? Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't know.
Excellent. Brilliant. Right, guys, we'll end it there. And
Brilliant.
one last thing, we're doing check-ins from Thursday AM till Friday midday.
Okay, what's a check-in again? I forgot. I think I still need to read up on this stuff, so sorry. I'm
Yes.
quite new to this.
The check-in is a form.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've got it on the app. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. The app will ping you with all of that stuff. And Shivam, did you read that on the forum as well today?
Yeah.
Are we on board with that? Is that okay? It probably only feels like we did a check-in a few days ago.
I don't know how it works middle of the week though, because it asks you things like, have you met your step goal, and how can you?
So you would look at it from the Thursday to Thursday.
Okay, that's going to be harder.
It will be difficult.
I'll have to actually calculate it instead of relying on my phone.
Yeah, interesting actually. That will be interesting. Yeah, we'll have to think about how we do that. Or we could look at it from the week before, from those 7 days from the week before. So not include it from Thursday.
Yeah, no, I think I'll just calculate it. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Perfect. And I think on the iPhone, actually, on the health app, you're able to kind of slide the bar along and actually include the exact 7 days.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It doesn't always go Monday to Sunday. Yeah. But if we just get feedback from, the day prior, 7 days ago. So yeah, it will include the back end of last week, bit of the weekend and this week. It's just going to make more sense in terms of those of you that kind of need actions or things to happen in time for Monday. It also saves me on a Sunday night as well. So yeah, that's basically the main. Yeah, that's the main thing, really. Just to say, yeah. Check-ins from tomorrow till Friday midday. You've got a bit more length there. But yeah, that's how we're doing things.
Cool.
Anything
Sounds
else?
good.
Any other topics for the future?
Nothing to think of.
Sleep is probably a good topic, but it might not be. Don't know. Might be kind of a bit out there. May not be appropriate. I don't know.
I think sleep's a good topic,
I think
actually.
it's
heavily.
Sorry,
Really
Gagan?
It's a good topic to sleep, I think, for sure. Yeah,
I think so.
definitely.
Yeah. You can always chime in. I'll let you take the reins, wherever you feel necessary. If you think there's something that I'm not quite.
But I only know a little bit about sleep. I'm still learning this, how to fine tune sleep.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I like the health, the sleep. I wear my watch to sleep